What is going on, guys? Fitcho here, and welcome back to the Fitcho Creators round number 18, the penultimate round of the season, the Brazilian Grand Prix. And that means only 2 weeks till F1 2016, only 2 more weeks to wait. I am so hyped for that game. It looks like it could be the best F1 game we have ever had, and I can't wait for it. Now, if you haven't already seen my video where I discussed my plans for that game and the career modes I'm going to be doing, there'll be a card in the top right hand corner of the screen, so you can go click that if you wish to go watch that. But today, we're here in Brazil, Interlagos, a brilliant track, a staple of the F1 calendar, and a track that I really like. But there are a few changes to this episode that I want to talk to you guys about compared to pretty much the entire series up until now. The first one being that this is actually recorded on my computer. I've actually played this on the PC for the first time ever, so up until now, pretty much every video I've ever done up until now has been on the Xbox One, but this one is actually on the PC, so that's the first little bit of a change. The next one is a rather large change. This is actually a post-commentary, so up until now, every episode in this series has been a live com. Same with the Rosberg career. Pretty much all my videos up until now have been a live commentated video, except for this one. I am trying a post-commentary, venturing into the world of post-commentary and seeing how it goes, and I need your feedback. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the post-commentary like this video and the Abu Dhabi video the last round of the season will be, or do you prefer the live commentary that I've done pretty much the entirety of this series up until now? So I'm sort of just using this as a bit of a test period at the moment, trying to figure out which one I like best and which one you guys like best, and then I'll make up my mind after these next 2 videos and your feedback, and then heading into F1 2016 I'll pick one, whichever one is best. Now the third change is, you probably already noticed it, the racing line is off, and so is ABS, and that means every assist is off. I am finally running on Elite Assist, absolutely none. It took me like 2 hours to actually get used to having no ABS and actually modulating the brake pedal. I finally managed to sort of get feel on my left foot and actually managed to get the ABS off. And I also managed to get the racing line off. That's just a little bit of practice at the track, and I had some time to do that. But we jump into qualifying now, and thankfully things have dried up. As I had ABS off, you could see in the practice session I was locking up quite a lot in those slippery conditions, but thankfully it is dry here in qualifying. We're actually on our second flying lap of the session. Our banker lap was a 1 minute 12.81, a pretty damn good lap, to be honest. We're trying to better that, and as you can see, we're out in an odd time of the period. We're in the session, I should say. We're sort of in that big lull in the middle. So the AI cars, they go out at the very start and the very end. And through the middle of the short qualifying sessions, there is absolutely no one on track. So I've taken this opportunity to go out on track and get a perfectly clear lap, absolutely no traffic, because I went out at the very start of the session and I really struggled with traffic. I ended up being in a big gaggle of cars and it was really holding me back. But I have waited till sort of that lull in the session, and is really helping us here. We're actually a 10.5 up on our previous best time, as we're sort of coming around this almost a straight. It's not actually a straight, but it acts as though a straight. We open the DRS, coming to the line, trying to take the shortest line possible, and we've run out of fuel. Absolutely unbelievable. We've got team radio. Fuck's sake, just ran out of fuel coming up to the line. It's going to be 2 tenths quicker, I reckon. Oh, fuck, that's frustrating. Yes, pole position, get in. That's what I'm talking about. So despite us running out of fuel on that second run, our first run was good enough to get pole position there by quite a large margin in the end, actually 8 tenths of a second over Nico Rosberg. He could only muster a 1 minute 13.1, I think that says, and we managed to do a 1 minute 12.2, so we were very quick compared to the AI. And quite surprising, Hamilton is like 1.6 seconds off me, and as you can see, I actually went into the race director to check it was on legend difficulty. I couldn't quite believe that I got that much faster than a Mercedes on my first ever race, taking off all the assists. But without further ado, let's jump into the Brazilian Grand Prix. So here we are on the grid in Brazil on pole position. If we have a look at the race strategy, it's going to be a 3-stop race. Now, it's been quite a while since I've done a proper race around Brazil, so I don't really know what the strategy should be. So I'm going to trust the team on this one and stick to their sort of predetermined strategy. But let's jump into the race. Now, how many positions are we going to lose into turn number 1? That is the crucial factor here. We've got 5 red lights and it's lights out and away we go. The Brazilian Grand Prix is underway. We don't get the best start. Quite a lot of wheel spin and both Mercedes get rocket starts. We've got Lewis Hamilton on our insides. We head into turn number 1. We hold it right around his inside. The inside line for then the right-hander of turn number 2. And we squeeze him out there on the exit, and crucially we only lose 1 place. It could have been a lot worse that start, but Rosberg has gotten away from us a little bit as we now cut to lap number 2. In the middle of the lap we have caught up to the back of the German. Are we going to try and move up the inside here? Yes we are. A little bit of a lock up from both him and I. We are now side by side with him, but we're not going to be able to hold it around the outside of this left-hander. He just got better traction with the ideal racing line there, but it's going to be tricky to get past Nico Rosberg as we sort of come onto this straight-like thing. It's not really a straight, but it is a flat-out section, so it sort of acts like a straight, and you can just see how much he is pulling away there with the Mercedes engine. Our Renault engine just doesn't really stand a chance, and from this lap onwards we'll have DRS to help us, but it's going to be really difficult. We're going to have to get very creative getting past Rosberg. As now into lap 3, we're going to try the same move again, and we're side by side with him up the inside, but he's going to get better traction than us again, and we just can't hang it around the outside of that left-hander. We do a nice switchback line, push our way up the inside. Now we've got the inside line for this left-hander. We're side by side. We try and force him out on the curb. We make a little bit of contact, but he has the ideal line, better traction, holds it around our outside, but then he's backed off. I don't know why he did that. He sort of backed off in the middle of that flat-out corner, and that has gifted us the position. And we also get DRS to try and aid our defense, and he just can't get back at us now. As now we cut a fair way into the race, actually the end of lap 7, if you look to the left hand side of your screen, Nico Rosberg is coming into the pit lane. Now we're going to be pitting at the end of this lap, lap number 8, so he's gone for the undercut on us. It's going to be interesting to see how this actually plays out. So we definitely know we are the quicker car. We were getting away from it a little bit in that first stint, but is the undercut going to get him back in front of us? That's what he's going to be hoping for. But the end of lap 8, we can see us coming into the pit lane now for the first of our 3 stops. We're going to be putting on another set of options, but like I said, it's going to be interesting where Rosberg actually comes out. We're going to be racing on the exit, I reckon. It's going to be very, very close with him. The undercut might just be enough to get him back in contention. And just for the record, Hamilton is actually a little ways out of this battle. We seem to be able to gap him. He doesn't seem to be on the pace this weekend in Brazil, but here we are coming out of the pit lane. We could hear Rosberg's engine a little bit there in the background. We're coming out of the pit lane. Where is Nico Rosberg? We come out past the pit wall, and there he goes. You can see Rosberg just gets past us. The undercut has worked perfectly for Nico Rosberg, and all our good work in that first stint is undone. Getting past him and then managing to build a little bit of a gap, all that work is undone, which is rather frustrating. So we want to get past him as quickly as we can. At this point we are a little bit frustrated. We try and push our way up the inside here. We lock the rears a little bit. You can see the back stepping out, but now we're going to be on the outside for this left-hander, and we try and do a switchback line, and I completely stuffed it up. I have no idea what I was actually doing there. We ended up right on the grass. We're going to try and get a nice exit out of here and line him up, but we're actually heading to the outside. We're going to try and hang it around the outside there, but I don't know how many times I've tried it already, but it just doesn't work around that corner. But that's where I get the closest to him, as now we cut to lap number 10. The same part of the track. This is where I get very close to him. Just the infield section, that's where our car is the strongest compared to this Mercedes. And again, we're on his outside, and we try to hang it around the outside. It just doesn't work there. We think about going up the inside. We sort of show our nose. We actually make a little bit of contact with the back of the Mercedes there. As now we cut onto lap number 11, again the same part of the track. He's actually a little bit further away from us. We had a bit of a scrappy lap. As now we're looking to his outside here. We're going to try to switch back, and we've actually made contact with him. I'm not too sure exactly what happened there. He was just very slow in the middle of that corner. He really caught me out with his line. I thought I'd be able to slip back up his inside, but it just didn't quite work, and it was probably really my fault there, clattering into the back of him, and he sort of held the position there, and we got a warning for it. But now onto lap number 12, again, the same part of the track. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say it, but this time, instead of the inside, we go to the outside, we hang it right around the outside of the Mercedes. It's going to give us the ideal line for this left-hander, and like we've already seen, he cannot hang it around the outside there, and we've got the move done into first place, but how long is that going to last? We've got this long straight, the 2 DRS straight, so he's got a really good chance to get back at us. So we actually cut to the start of the next lap on the second DRS straight, and here he goes up our inside with the 8 of DRS, and he's completely past us by the time we get onto the brakes. This is rather frustrating. Just absolutely nothing we could do. After making a really nice move around the outside, he just gets back past us so easily. It's now a little bit later in the lap. We actually get a bit frustrated and go a little bit deep and just tap the back of him. Just like I said, getting frustrated at this stage of the race. Keep making nice moves past him, and then with his Mercedes engine, he can just get past us so easily. There's nothing we can do. So we actually get really nice traction there. We're pulling alongside him a little bit, the closest we've ever been along this sort of back straight, if you want to call it that. And now we're going to have the 8 of DRS. We open the flap, we're getting that slipstream up through the gears into 8th gear, bouncing off the rev limiter. This is our best chance. We're going to throw it up the inside very late on the brakes, and we managed to make that move stick. Very, very proud of that move. That was a beautiful move. Didn't lock the brakes or anything. Nice and deep on the brakes. But here he's going to come back at us. We try and defend this one. I try to do everything I can, but even defending, he just gets right back past us, so we can fall back onto the ideal line for the braking. It's just so damn frustrating. Just no matter what I throw at this guy, he just keeps coming back at us with the DRS and those long straights, because you got all the straights in the section. But here we go, sneaking up the inside, very opportunistic there as he goes a little bit slowly there. I don't know what he was doing, but we're really close to him because he had just got past us, and this time we might just be able to get the move done. We got him early in the midfield, so we've got this sort of, in the infield I should say, we've got the rest of this infield section where I'm really, really quick to try and build a gap before that long straight. And we cut onto the end of lap number 17, and we come into the pit lane for our second of what should be a 3-stop race. We're going to be fitting another set of the option tyre. Now, getting past him in the first half of that infield, like I was just saying, was crucial, because in that second half of the infield, we were sort of able to build enough of a gap to sort of break the DRS and I guess his Mercedes straight line OP-ness, if you want to call it that, and he just couldn't mount an attack on us. We sort of were finally clear of him. He didn't get back at us, but he does have a 2-lap undercut on us. It's going to be interesting to see where we come out in relationship to him. You can just see him coming through the center S as we're coming out of the pit lane now. It's going to be very, very close between me and the Mercedes. We come out in front, but is he going to get us down into turn number 4? No, he's not. We're going to come out just in front of him. Just got that right. His 2-lap undercut almost worked on us, but not quite. But then we managed to break away from him a bit, and now we cut to the end of that stint, the end of lap number 26. We're back in the pit lane for our third and final stop of the race, fitting the prime tyres, and absolutely nothing happened in that stint. Rosberg couldn't attack us at all, and we were just picking through back markers. And that is right, you just saw that at the bottom of the screen. That was Nico Rosberg in front of us in the pit lane, even though he was just behind us in the race. He didn't get in front of us. We were pitting from the lead of the race. Now we're actually watching a replay. This is Rosberg coming in for what should be his third and final pit stop of the race. But you could see there, his team wasn't actually ready for him, and he should have been fitting the prime tyre, but as you can see, he's actually fitted the option tyre, so very, very odd there from the Mercedes team. We're going to speed up his outlap, because something very, very odd happened, so a bit of a strategy blunder there from Mercedes, and the end of that outlap, he comes back into the pit lane for another pit stop. And this is really, really odd. And he comes into the pit lane, and again, his team isn't really ready for him. And there you can see the Red Bull guys coming out for me. So it might have only been a 1-lap undercut, or he might have even pitted a lap earlier. I'm not 100% sure. We're going to speed this clip up again, because he went onto the option tyres again, I believe, when he should be going onto the prime tyre. Yes, that is definitely the option tyre. And I'll just tell you now, because I can't speed this clip up anymore, and it's rather frustrating on Sony Vegas. But he comes into the pit lane again. As you can see, here he goes into the pit lane again. I don't know what on earth Mercedes is doing. This has to be some sort of glitch. Alex, or Pomps to the Win 87, if you are watching this, put this in your glitch video. If you don't know who he is, I'll leave a link to him in the description. A good friend of mine, but he finally puts the prime tire on, and then annoyingly I sort of fucked up because the buttons are different to control the menus on the PC to the Xbox on the same wheel. It makes no sense. I pressed the wrong button and accidentally backed out of the replay cams, but I'd pretty much got everything that I wanted by then, thankfully. But I'll tell you now, he keeps doing this and ends up pitting this race a total of 8 times. 8 pit stops in the race. Absolutely crazy. I really don't know what he was up to. But now we're back on board with me. The start of lap number 33. We've got Daniel Kvyat, Team Radio. He's trying to unlap himself. Fuck off, Kvyat. He's just going to let me back through now. I'm trying to win a race here. Just get the fuck out of my way, for God's sake. So Daniel Kvyat was trying to unlap himself there, and we fire one up his inside. We were not too pleased, as you could hear on that team radio. Pretty annoyed, but now on to the start of lap 35. We've got 2 back markers actually battling in front of us. I'm going to have team radio again as they are all over the shop. What the fuck are those 2 doing? Jesus Christ. As you could tell, I was getting really fed up with the back markers there, just getting in my way. I'm trying to win this race, but both the Mercedes sort of had that weird glitch and were completely out of contention. We're going to cut to the end of the final lap, coming around the final corner. We're going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Yes, get in, another win. Yes, get in. That is what I'm talking about. Woohoo! And here we are, jumping on the top step of the podium yet again, leading home another Red Bull 1-2. That is back-to-back Red Bull 1-2s. Red Bull are on the up at the moment, and Mercedes seem to be floundering and losing the plot, making some very weird strategy calls. But it's quite nice to see Mercedes on the podium, as we've got Kimi Räikkönen beside us on the 3rd step of the podium. And a brilliant race for us. We had a great battle with Nico Rosberg in the first half of that race. But then once we managed to finally sort of break away with him, we used that pace that we showed in qualifying and just got away from him a little bit before he had that weird sort of pit stop glitch where he pitted a ridiculous amount of times. But there you go, the final results. We have won the race from our teammate Daniel Ricciardo by, I think that says 37 seconds. So insane margins there at the front. Absolutely no competition in that last stint, and even that second stint we didn't really have much competition. Not much actually happened in the 3rd and 4th stints, I should say, because it was a 3-stop race. Getting a little muddled up there. The first half of the race was brilliant. Great action with Rosberg. The second half of the race was really boring as we finally broke away from it. It had that weird glitch. But we have won the race from Ricciardo. Raikkonen rounding out the podium. Then you got Lewis Hamilton finishing just off the podium, making 6 pit stops. What the heck? 6 pit stops. I don't know what he was up to. Ridiculous amount of pit stops, but not as bad as Rosberg. I'll get to that in a second. Then you got Fernando Alonso in 5th place, and Valtteri Bottas and Felipe Massa, both Williams, going for a 5-stop strategy. Really odd. And then also a little bit lower, you got Button and Hulkenberg going for a 4-stop, and you got John-Eric Verne, our old teammate, doing quite well up in 8th. We've got Button and then Hulkenberg rounding out the top 10 and the points finishes. And we look a little bit lower, you got Daniel Kvyat in 11th, then Kevin Magnussen, and in 13th place was Nico Rosberg. A horror race for him. Everything was going so well for him, battling for the lead in the first half of the race, and then I don't know, Mercedes lost the plot with the strategy worse than ever. They were worse than Red Bull forgetting the tyres at Monaco, worse than Williams putting a wrong set of tyres on in Spa. They made 8 pit stops. 8 freaking pit stops in the end for Rosberg. Absolute ridiculous. It's crazy, and it ended up out of the points. I really don't know what the hell was going on there. As they scroll down now, then behind him is Perez, then Grosjean, Gutierrez, Sutil, Kobayashi, Chilton, Ericsson, Maldonado last of the finishes, then Jules Bianchi not finishing the race. So if we have a look at the championship standings, Nico Rosberg retains his lead with 267 points, but his teammate Lewis Hamilton in 2nd place has closed the margin down to 13 points as we head into the final round of the season in Abu Dhabi. In third place is myself with 199 points, with my teammate right behind me on 198 points, only 1 point separating us. In fifth place is Valtteri Bottas with 172 points. Then in 6th and 7th is Kimi Raikkonen and Felipe Massa, who are currently tied on 158 points apiece. Then in 8th place is Fernando Alonso with 136 points, and Sebastian Vettel still on 111, of course, no longer has a drive in F1. Then rounding out the top 10 is Jenson Button with 58 points. Despite their poor finish today in the Grand Prix, Mercedes have clinched the Constructors' title from Red Bull Racing. In third place is Williams, over 100 points off second place. In fourth place is Scuderia Ferrari, and then Toro Rosso is still holding out McLaren for that fifth spot, only 6 points separating them as we head into the final round of the season. Okay, that is all for today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Now, I'd really appreciate your feedback on the post commentary, how it was, and how it compares to the live commentaries I normally do. I'd really appreciate your feedback. So I want to sort of see what you guys prefer to watch and sort of pick which one you guys like best as we head into F1 2016. I sort of figure it out before the game comes out, and I can sort of pick one and stick with it for F1 2016. So I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a comment just letting me know how it went and how you liked it, if you prefer it or if you want me to go back to the live commentary. I'd really appreciate any feedback on that. But that is all for today. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.